Press, the team just announced that Carson will be here long term. What was his reaction to the news, and what does that mean for him in terms of just comfort level, knowing that he's going to be here long term?
Right. Obviously, he's very excited. This is where he's always wanted to be. So I think there's a lot of comfort in him just knowing that how the franchise sees him and just where he's going to be long term. There's a lot of comfort and peace in knowing that he's going to be here, and I know he's excited about it and just ready to get to work.
What have you seen from him as far as, like, he shed the knee brace, and to us it looks like he's flying around.
Right.
He's even sprinting from drill to drill. What have you seen so far?
There's definitely a certain freedom with him of just shedding the knee brace, like you said. I think that was kind of an annoyance throughout the years he had to wear it, and obviously it was with good reason that he wore it. But I definitely think he just feels bad. He's got that bounce back, and a lot of people talk about coming off a knee injury, how you just slowly kind of start to feel like yourself and get that stability and that comfort back in your knee. So.
Comparatively, to what he was like last season and everything. I mean, you can probably tell that he wasn't fully 100%. I mean, have you noticed a big difference so far this spring?
I think just the biggest thing is shedding the knee brace and being able to move around. You just see now he's another year removed from the surgery, and there's just the comfort and the speed that he's moving with is great, and it's what we expected to see with him. He's doing a good job.
He's going to get a full, the OTAs and the mini camps, and so how will that help him working with you and working with Mike this coming year as opposed to the situation he was in last year? Right,
that's invaluable. And really, bringing in new pieces on our offense, getting a chance to work with them, getting through the communication. That's the biggest thing of this offseason is you take a rep and then you pull the guys to the side and they communicate with one another. You communicate on the film. It's more of him doing it. Last year he was right there. He was alongside everybody, but again, it was more watching somebody else do it and then going and communicating. So now it's a little more personal with him, and I think it's good.
Press, what was your role in the evaluation process of Clayton Thorson? What stood out to you about it?
Right. I really enjoyed watching all those guys. It was a good class to work our way through. I always enjoy getting a chance just to peek into kind of the college offenses and how things are working, what defenses are seeing and different things. But really enjoyed watching Clayton. Obviously, the experience jumps off the tape right away, how he handles certain situations. Did a good job of, elevating the play of the guys around him in the Northwestern program. They've really done a really good job. He was well coached. Just fun to watch a guy that, the experience really leaps off the tape, how he handles certain pressure situations, certain situations within a game. So he was a fun guy to watch, and really glad we have him as a part of our system now.
When you're working through those evaluations, what are the most important things that you look for?
You're always looking for just poise, comfort. You're looking for certain mechanics, the way they throw the ball. You want to like the way the guy plays the game initially. So seeing that, and then how they handle situations, like you said, you try to find everything. When the pocket collapses, when the pocket's clean and everything's easy, how he throws the ball to the field, how he makes decisions in short areas, third down situations. So it's all encompassing. There's so many factors you want to take into it. But.
And I guess the follow-up would be, what are things that you think are tangible that you can improve on as a coach?
Well, you're always going to improve. You're going to work to improve the speed at which they play and process, and a lot of that comes with how you teach your concepts. Kind of the coaching points of things really creates that comfort level for them to be able to make quick decisions and process pre-snap, process post-snap. All that kind of goes into play. So you like to think that the way we teach our system, we can improve the speed at which they play, and then we're always trying to physically work to improve their foot speed, different things like that as they go through.
From your standpoint, when you have a young quarterback like him and you have somebody like Nate and then you have Carson, how much of your time is devoted to sort of developing the younger guys? How much of it is devoted to getting Carson ready?
Specifically at this time of year, we are working to improve everybody in the room. Mm-hmm. So 1 through 4, we are working for everybody to just continue to improve. And it's the same thing in season. Obviously, you have different time constraints with certain guys, but we're going to work to improve anybody in our room and get them ready to play at any moment.
What have you seen so far between Carson and DeSean, and how their chemistry is developing, and how much Carson is going to like having a speedster out there like that?
I think that's one of the valuable parts of this offseason is having Carson full speed and then having DeSean here every day. It's been great to see them work together. And again, every rep just leads to more communication, more of here's why I threw this ball the way I did, here's why I ran this route the way I did, certain things. So that's invaluable, and that just starts to develop that trust and that chemistry that you want to see throughout the offseason. They've done a good job with that.
Are there things you can do with Carson this season that maybe you couldn't have done last season just because he was still coming back from the injury?
I don't know that we were necessarily restricted in what we did last year with him. There's certain things that he could be better at as he feels more comfortable moving around. But again, you'd have to ask him on that. But I feel like we were pretty open with our playbook last year as well.
What's the next step for Nate? Like, what next step would you like to see him take in his development?
I think just continuing to operate the offense. You know, life as a backup can be tough. There's a lot of times where you're just thrust into a game. It could be at any point in the game. You know, we've had situations where our backups come in the third quarter, and you know, as you start a game, guys kind of get the jitters out with the first series and they settle into the speed of the game. Well, as a backup, you come in and you've already missed that point of everybody settling in. So you're trying to catch up and play. So that's the biggest thing, and you're really not going to get a ton of that experience until you get game reps. But these reps out here in practice, going against our defense, call-up periods, certain things, that's all invaluable for him. Preseason is, you know, as close as we can get to a game atmosphere before throwing him into the fire, or before he gets thrown into the fire, I guess I'd say. So him just continuing to work through that, prove he can run the offense, he can protect the football and lead our offense the way we'd like.
Chris, with Nick, I mean, he had early experience, so you knew what you were getting when he was the backup. Is there a little bit more of a leap of faith with Nate, or the 3 years with him kind of convinced you that?
Well, we definitely have a lot of trust in Nate with what we've seen with him, but like anybody, you want to see him in the fire. And, you know, hopefully we don't come to that. You know, ideally your starter's the guy all the time. You never have to see your backup in the fire, and you trust what you've seen in practice and what he's proven to you. But the game, I mean, everything steps up a level when the adrenaline kicks in and the game situations, bullets are flying. But we certainly trust what we've seen from Nate and the guys so far, that they can go in and perform.
Has there been anything different with Carson behind the scenes this offseason because he's healthy and he's being able to participate in the entire offseason program?
I don't know that I'd say that. I mean, he was very involved last year when he was not taking the physical reps on the field. He was involved in meetings, and you know, we have a very good room in terms of the communication that goes on in the quarterback room and how things go within meetings, within film, different things like that. So I think he's involved as he's ever been.
Statistically, the numbers from Carson from 2017 to 2018 look pretty similar, but if there was one area where it wasn't quite the same, it's in that sack percentage. It seemed like maybe decision-making and holding on to the football were things where maybe areas where those could be improved. Is that something you saw, and like what did you see from 17 to 18? Was he, you know, the same kind of and same effective kind of quarterback?
I mean, obviously we didn't win the games that we won in 2017, which is something we're always going to work to improve. I don't know if I could put one general statement and say that, you know, this area here, it's kind of, I think you have to take each situation play by play. But I don't know if there's one thing I'd say that this issue became an issue or whatever it was. So.
But that's all we have is stats, right? Because like, you guys internally, how do you do that? Like, how do you assess, okay, that's what I wanted to see versus that's not what I wanted to see?
Well, I think everything comes with context. I think that's the biggest thing with stats is you can say something statistically, but it always comes within the context of a situation. So you can say, you know, the league averages quarterback throws the ball in 2 seconds. Well, I think what quick game comes into play with that, RPOs come into play with that, throwing, you know, now screens come into play with that. So that affects everything. So I think there's always needs to be context involved. So we just take every situation within itself and evaluate each play, each situation the way it is, and try to work our way through that.
Chris, what is it like for you that you know that you'll be coaching Carson through the prime years of his career?
That's very exciting. I mean, obviously for the franchise, just to know who our quarterback is for the next 6 years is very comforting, and being able to continue to build around him from, you know, the front office, getting to build the team around knowing who your quarterback is, and us as coaches building our scheme to make sure we're doing the best to present his abilities in the best way possible.
Another first year in the job last year. Now that you're going into year two, how are you different? How are you better than you were?
I like to think that I've improved just throughout the year, just the communications, what's expected, how I can best communicate on game day, how I can best communicate with these guys in meeting rooms on the field. Just it's another year working together. I think there's comfort in that, and I think we've all improved, and that's what we're trying to do. We ask our players to improve every single day, and as coaches, we're held to the same standard.
What was it like to get the opportunity, and now you've been the receivers coach full time? What's that been like?
Extremely thankful for the position from Coach Peterson, and obviously working with Mike Gross. So excited with the room we have, the guys we have, and being a part of this offense and this organization.
What's your philosophy as far as coming in and putting your own stamp on things, but also kind of needing that continuity, what they've been doing?
It has nothing to do with me at all. It's all about our offense, the Eagles organization. So working with Mike Groh in the past, we see the receiver room very, very similar. We see offensive football very, very similar. And I'm just here to serve him and Coach Peterson.
What was your kind of impression of him the first time you guys were together?
Mike Rowe?
Yeah.
We started in 2013 together, and I was an assistant to him in his room, and he's an outstanding teacher. He sees offensive football. He knows how to run a room, and very detailed. He's a guy I look up to in the business.
How was DeSean look so far?
Excellent.
Yeah.
He's done everything we've asked him to do. He's been great in the meeting room. Some of our young guys sometimes are in awe, seeing DeSean Jackson in our building. So he gets his chance to do a little speaking in the meeting rooms and talk about how he sees receiver play, and everyone's taking notes.
You have such a unique background where you've coached in the CFL, college. How has all that experience helped you to where you're at today?
Well, I think experience is the number one thing. And starting in small college football, moving into the pro ranks, it's been great. It's been a journey. But each spot has their own little unique, set of, things you learn, I guess. But pro football and college football are very different. I enjoy the pro aspect of things, and I'm just fortunate to be here.
You have a room with, guys with different levels of experience. What's your philosophy on, do you coach DeSean Jackson differently than you coach J.J. Arcega-Whiteside?
I think you coach all guys a little bit different. I mean, all guys learn different, so you have to coach them different. With that being said, some guys like when you get after them a little bit. Some guys do not want you to get after them around other people. So you build a relationship with these guys. You figure out what makes them trigger, how they want to be coached, and then you kind of put your stamp on each guy to what they need individually.
How do you go about figuring out what it is that they receive well? What kind of coaching they want?
Well, you talk to them.
Okay.
You ask them. You just go up to them, put your arm around them, and say, hey, is this the way you want it? Is this the way you want it? But then you also know when things need to be done, there always needs to be a time and a place where you have to say, hey, we got to go. This is the time. Or let them know that we need more from you.
How'd you end up with the Eskimos in 15? 15 to 16?
16 and 17. Yeah. I was in the CFL prior. 2010, 11, and 12, I was in the CFL.
Before you went to Chicago.
Yeah. So I had relationships from guys in the CFL, and got a call and took that job.
How does that kind of football help in a passing game in the NFL? Does it have some unique? I mean, obviously they throw the ball a little bit more there. I mean, does it have some unique qualities that help you as a coach at in this game?
Well, it's a big passing league, just like you said. So, 3/4 of the down, they're throwing the football.
Right.
So you're always involved with something in the passing game. But it's a great league. It really is, and there's a lot of good players up there. So I was fortunate to be with the Eskimos for 2 years. We had a lot of good players, a lot of good receivers, a great quarterback, and I was really happy with my time there.
I learned a lot with Chris. Learned a lot of things from him and how to get the line ready and get them prepared for each day of practice and each game and everything. So just being in that position, just to be able to learn under a guy like him and a lot from these other coaches too. I mean, it was good.
In terms of technique and scheme, are there differences between what you teach and what Chris taught?
Well, in this defense, we pretty much speak the same language, all the coaches and stuff. So it's pretty much the defense is the same. We kind of, everybody's different. Every coach different and coach things a little bit different. But my thing is, you just go out and just talking to Jim every day. Every day that we meet, the defense never change. We always doing the same thing all the time. So everybody speaks the same language.
Is the way you teach these guys to rush different than the way you play?
Yeah, I mean, rushing is rushing. It's an attitude, you know what I'm saying? You get to that point, start to run and get to, third down and get a chance to rush. That's an opportunity you got to take advantage of. It's an attitude, you know what I'm saying? You got to want to do that. You got to want to rush. You got to want to get to the quarterback. And I always tell my guys, just look at each other on third down and say, meet me at the quarterback and make it happen. And that's how you got to approach that.
How's your perspective as a coach been developed by being a player in this league for a long time?
It's been good, you know what I'm saying? I always say, if you get how it was to be a player, then, pretty much you're probably going to be a bad coach, you know what I'm saying? My thing is I can relate to these guys. I've been in their spot. I've been in their place. I know what they're going through at times. I know how to approach certain things just by sitting in those seats. I had a lot of good coaches when I came through over the years. And my thing is, you just treat the players how you would want to be treated when you was in that position, you know what I'm saying? And I kind of got in like I said, from my coaches, I learned a little bit from each one of them, so I can kind of carry that with me and carry it to the guys.
Who's the guy that had the biggest influence, coach that had the biggest influence in you in terms of coaching?
I mean, all of them had an influence, but if I had to pick one guy, probably Greg Blosh. I was with him for 10 years. You know, he was my D-line coach and my defensive coordinator, and we were together in Chicago and with the Redskins. So he's probably the one guy, if I say I learned the most from and carried a lot of his philosophy with me, probably him. The other guy, I can't leave him out, is not Rex Norris, but Tommy Brazier. Tommy Brazier, even though Rex did help me a lot too. All my coaches helped me, but Tommy Brazier is my first coach. I think your first coach kind of mold you into what you're going to become. He taught me a lot of technique and little things, you know what I'm saying, kind of mold me into the player I became, and that's probably the reason I played so long.
Fletcher had an incredible year last year, even though Timmy hardly played, and the guys playing next to him were, you know, a lot of them were guys that didn't have a lot of experience. Going into this year, at least right now, theoretically, you've got Malik and you've got a healthy Timmy. I mean, what can that mean to that interior defense and to Fletch specifically?
It mean a lot, you know. We was always trying to find a compliment to go next with Fletch next to him and stuff. And I think we had that with Timmy. Timmy ended up missing a lot of the season last year. Then we got Malik coming in here, who's long, got a lot of length, can rush, can do a lot of the things that, you know, to help Fletch out. The main thing is to keep teams from sliding to Fletch and getting all the double teams and stuff like that. And I think Malik's a guy that can come in and do that.
The flip side to that is it seems like there's a little bit less depth at defensive end. How do you view that picture?
I don't see it that way. I think we got a lot of depth. You know, we got a lot of young guys fighting for positions that's going to come in and help us out this year a lot. You know, I mean, you got guys that was drafted for that reason. So I think we're going to be fine at the end. I think you just take those guys and just keep improving every day, and we'll be fine there.
What are the challenges a rookie pass rusher has coming into the league, like a Sharif Miller and Derek Barnett even a couple of years ago? I mean, what are some of the challenges that they have?
Just getting on the field is one of them. I mean, you got all the guys in front of them, and, you know, that may be veterans or something like that. Just getting them on the field and getting them out there playing. You know, of course, that first year when Derek got here, you know, we had, you know, he played behind guys. He played behind Vinny and those guys, and, you know, got an opportunity to go out there, but he still had 5 sacks that year, and he played limited role. But at the same time, just getting them on the field and give them an opportunity to see what they can do. And we'll get a better feel for them during training camp and how they go out and prepare themselves and get ready. And it's my job to get them ready to go and get them ready for the season. But I just think, you know, the one of the biggest things with rookies coming in is like strength. They don't have the strength that they're still developing. They're still doing a lot of things they're doing a lot of things that, you know, they did in college. And you got to change those habits and stuff like that. But as far as if they just continue to improve every day, they'll be fine, you know, and we'll get them there.
See, Derek had said the first 2 years that strength was one of the things that he really needed to work on, spent a lot of time in the gym, etc. He's coming back from the surgery. He's not practicing much. Is that restricting his ability to help himself get stronger?
No, he's getting stronger. I mean, legs. I mean, you can't work upper body, you work lower body. And he's working on his lower body right now. And I think that's the most important thing for a defensive lineman is your lower body. You don't have to bench press a lot to get people off of you. And that's one thing that I knew coming in and how I was when I was young. You know, just if you got strong legs, that can help you, that take you a long way. So as long as your legs are strong in the squat area and those kind of things, you can bend, you'll be fine.
So for Josh Sweat, this is his second year. Has he taken that leap, you know, strength-wise and maybe even technique-wise, learning, you know, a few different moves? So.
Oh, he has. Josh came in here bigger, stronger. You know, he's explosive off the ball. He's done all the things he needed to do in the offseason to get himself better and ready to go. Looking forward to the competition with all those guys. Him, Joe Osman, all those guys, you know, came back here. DeSean Hall, all the young guys. They came back here and got bigger and they got stronger, and that's all you can ask for.
When you say that the first coach kind of molds you, you know, you're working with a lot of young guys. You know, you're Sharif Miller's first coach. What kind of impact do you want to make them? I mean, how do you want to mold them?
Well, I just want them, you know, just improve every day. You know, my thing is teach them technique. Technique is the biggest thing with young guys coming in. A lot of them don't have that technique. They go to college and play against guys they probably can dominate most of the time. When you come in this league, you're not going to dominate the guy. They pros too. They get paid to do a job too, so it's a little different. So my thing is to teach them technique and teach them everything I can give him, and to help him be successful on the field. That's all I can do for him. And I think like any young guy coming in this league, the first thing you're going to see is their technique is not going to be where it needs to be. And they're not going to be as strong as they should be. But with me, the strength coaches, everybody in the building, working toward getting them there, and they'll get there. They'll get there.
What did it mean getting Brandon Graham back?
Oh, that meant a lot, you know what I'm saying? Me and BG got a great relationship. He I actually talked to him right after he signed back, and I actually mentioned to him, I said, I bet you're not happier than I am to have you back here. And he said, man, I'm ready. He was excited. He ready to go. And Brandon's a big part of what we do, you know. I mean, y'all know what Brandon can do. He's a physical dude that can get on edge, make some things happen. And, you know, we needed to get him back, and we got him back, so that's good.
How important is it for him that he's going in healthy this year? He doesn't have to rehab an ankle. I mean, he seems to be excited about it to hit the ground running.
That's always important to come into the year healthy, and you know, so you can help your team be better. You know, and that's what Brandon's about. You know, you want to help us go out and win and get back to the Super Bowl, get back there again. You know, so that's all he talks about. You know, winning and having an opportunity to do that again. So that's all you can ask. And my thing is, you know, they slowed him down last year a little bit, but Brandon got through it. He played well for us, though, even though he was you know, a little beat up. He played well for us.
We've seen glimpses of Derek being the top pick potential, but we still haven't seen it over a long period. We haven't seen where you guys probably think his ceiling is pretty high. Sell to us, why is he going to be that guy? Why can he be that guy, the dominant edge rusher?
I mean, like I said before, the first year he came in, he was limited. You know, he had people in front of him. Every time he gets on the field, he makes plays. You know, we can't control when things happen to us. You know, those kind of things happen. That's part of the game. It's part of football. You're going to get injured. You're going to get things like that. But as far as him as a player, Derek comes out there and works hard every day to get himself back on the field. He was on his way last year. He was playing good those early games, and then he played, you know, beat up a couple games, but he was on his way. You know, and all I can, if he pick up from where he left off last year, he'll be just fine. You know, Derek's one of those guys that work harder than anybody in the building. You know what I'm saying? He's one of those guys that's going to lead the way for everybody else.
Any reason he can't just pick up where he left off?
There's no reason. I mean, Derek's a football player. I mean, everybody around here love the way he approached the game. You know, the way he come out and work every day. He's going to be fine. He'll pick up where he left off, and we'll keep it going.
I know you coach D-line, but what does it mean to have the quarterback and Carson Wentz locked up for the long term?
That's big. No matter where you are, you got to have a quarterback to win in this league, and y'all know that. So yeah, you got to have. I mean, it's big to have him here for 6 years, knowing that you stable there at quarterback, and you don't have to worry about that anymore. It's big for him, you know, just to be able to go out there and play the way he know how to play and get back to that MVP caliber year that he had, you know, the second year.